No sword can slice me. I am practically immortal. He asked, what can you do? Allama laughed and said, well, you can also use your sword.
You're 45, 50, 60, you're still in the same bin. It's a tragic way to live.
Your psychological drama, we can all sit in the same place and each one of us can have something different going in our minds right now, yes or no? So obviously what's happening in your mind is your psychological reality, it's not existential. It has no existential basis. It is in this sense, people are telling you be in the moment.
Everybody is enslaved for 30 years minimum. Their house loan is for 30 years, car loan is for 5 years, another thing is something, their insurance, this. They're just fixed. Tomorrow morning if they find something really compelling that they want to do, they cannot do, they can only do it after 30 years.
There was a sage in northern part of Karnataka who is today revered and celebrated as one of the pillars of the Veera Shiva community. His name was Allama Prabhu. A yogi came seeking Allama because he heard great things about Allama, he wanted to compete with him. This yogi who came to meet him, he was a little over 200 and odd years. With very rigorous yoga, mastering the elements within the system, he hardened his body in such a way, he defied age. So this is his pride. Everybody that he knew has fallen dead, but the man lives and strong as a youth, rock-like his body. So he came to Allama, they met on a bank of a river, and he told Allama, say, I'm the real yogi. If you want to test me, you take your sword, hit me on my head, see what happens. Allama said, okay, and took his sword and smashed it on his head. It just bounced back like you hit a rock. So the yogi said, this is my strength. No sword can slice me. I am practically immortal. He asked, what can you do? Allama laughed and said, well, you can also use your sword. So he hesitated, but Allama did not look so strong, rock-like, he looked normal. Allama said, go ahead, don't worry. So he took the sword and really went for his head. The sword went straight through, as if it's through air, and he hit the ground. And he lost his balance and fell down. So he asked, what is this? He said, this is not this or that, this is Shiva. This is not this or that. If it is this or that, then it has qualities. This is neither this nor that, this is Shiva, this is that which is not.
There is common sense, there is sense, and there is something beyond sense. With common sense, your survival process gets handled. You don't have to be brilliant, you just have common sense. You will survive pretty good. You could turn out quite street smart. Actually, if somebody very intelligent is walking down the street, let's say Albert Einstein is walking down the street, a street urchin can easily con him. Albert Einstein doesn't have the wily nature of the one who's walking the streets every day. Very easily you can deceive him. You may have enormous intelligence about something else. So, because the street kid has more common sense is restricted to a certain habitat. In that habitat it works. In another place your common sense doesn't work. You know, you heard of the ISRO, they've sent a Mars probe now. At 10% of the cost what NASA would do normally. Because it's all indigenous and they build it up in their own ways. So they were interviewing people to be taken in for a job in ISRO. Shankaran Pillai applied. She is very street smart, a lot of common sense. So the interviewer asked him, which is closer, moon or Mumbai? They're in Bangalore. Shankaran Pillai looked up in the sky and I said, moon. He said, what? How do you say that? He said, well, I can see the moon, I can't see Mumbai. So, this kind of sense goes well in certain things. But if you want to transcend, you need a different kind of sense. This kind of sense is good on the survival mode. When you're on a survival mode on the street, this kind of sense works pretty good. If we try to go all over with this kind of sense, we'll become one big mess. So going beyond one's senses and knowing, why is it needed? It's not needed if you're thinking in terms of a need. If you're using the word need as whether it is necessary for my survival or not, it's not needed. But unfortunately, if you had come here as a chimpanzee, it's definitely not needed. But your tragedy is you have evolved into a human being, wanting to live like a chimpanzee. Doesn't work. That's the whole problem. Human intelligence and awareness has come to a place where it cannot limit itself to the ambit of survival, it has to. Look, now what we're doing as a solution for this problem is not a problem, it's a possibility. Every possibility, those who are not willing to take on the possibility, for them it seems like a problem. It's a phenomenal possibility, but most human beings are treating it like a problem. So how they're solving the problem is, raise the bar of survival, keep on raising it. What was your idea of survival 25 years ago? What was your idea of survival 15 years ago? What is your idea of survival today? It's raising the bar, isn't it? 2 meals a day was survival when you didn't have anything. If you have known that such a state, it's good to know those things. But now, maybe Mercedes is survival. In every different segment of society, survival has been raised to a place where billionaires are still struggling to survive among their community. Yes. I have had this opportunity at close quarters to see multi-billionaires, but they're still beggars. Every day, their mentality, their mindset is just that of a beggar who sits on the street and thinking, okay, what is today? How many more pennies can I gather? It's the same stuff. It's just the numbers have increased, but the experience of life is still the same. Because you raise the bar of survival. Now, your whole life, it doesn't matter what you do, still goes in survival. Everybody, I won't fix this for you. In your life, you must fix it. How much is survival? You must fix it somewhere, now. Not after 25 years when you get there, no. Now we must fix, this is my survival, then what do I want to do? My survival is taken care of, what is it that really matters to me in my life? Whatever that is. If we don't structure our lives like this, forever you will be fighting with phantoms. Why I'm saying you're fighting with phantoms is, in other countries, where the bar of survival has not been raised so high, people can change the course of their life when they wish. I find in the most affluent nation on the planet, everybody is enslaved for 30 years minimum. Their house loan is for 30 years, car loan is for 5 years, another thing is something, their insurance, this. They just fixed. Tomorrow morning if they find something really compelling that they want to do, they cannot do, they can only do it after 30 years. We did not come to affluence for this. The idea of affluence is you have the freedom to change the course of your life, do what you want to do. You don't have to be stuck with what you thought was the best thing when you were 20. At 20 you may think this is the best thing, at 40 the damn thing means nothing. If still the same things mean a lot to you, that means you're stuck. You're not growing, isn't it? A whole lot of people are stuck at 14, not even 20. Same things. Still they're excited about somebody's body part, they're still very excited about… It's ridiculous. When you're 14 you were excited, I understand. You're 45, 50, 60, you're still in the same bin. It's a tragic way to live, because essence of life is that we are able to explore as much as we can when we live here, to know and experience everything possible that is there in this life.
Right now there is no experience of life. Largely you're just a bundle of thought, emotion, ideas, opinions and prejudices. Your psychological drama is being mistaken for life. You must see how people die. It's very important. If you watch people die, over 80% of the people on this planet, when the moment of death comes, there is no pain, there is not even fear, but you will see bewilderment on their face. Like this they go. Because it's like you went to the cinema, you bought the ticket, went to the cinema, you sat there, during the trailer itself you fell asleep. And when they turn on the lights after the movie, you woke up. What, it's already over? This is how most people are dying. This is the most unfortunate way to die. Because before you open your account, it's over. Your own thought and emotion kept you so busy, you thought this is life. But when the moment of death comes, suddenly you know the drama that you were turning on within you looked so real, but the moment lights are going off, then you know this is not it. Your psychological drama, we can all sit in the same place and each one of us can have something different going in our minds right now, yes or no? So obviously what's happening in your mind is your psychological reality, it's not existential. It has no existential basis. It is in this sense, people are telling you be in the moment, because there is no basis to your psychological reality, you can make up whatever you want. Or in other words, your creation, your petty creation has become larger than the magnificent creation of the Creator. So spiritual process means you set this anomaly right. You understand your psychological reality is something that you're making up. I'm not saying you should not make it up, you can, but you must be able to switch it off when you don't want. The problem is it's just on 24 hours, so it looks like that is the reality. It is not the reality, you're just making it up. Yes or no? The made-up world has become larger than the real world. Just to correct this is spiritual process. You understand what is real and what is made up. This means you're spiritual. If you can identify what is existentially true and what is not true, you will navigate your way through life effortlessly, isn't it? If your mind, your body takes instructions from you, being peaceful and joyful is not even an issue. Is it an issue? If your body and mind is taking instructions from you, is it an issue? Is it even a consideration? Do you have to even bother about it? How to be peaceful, how to be joyful? There's no such thing. This is coming from a very unnatural situation because made-up world has become larger than the real world. What's happening on your phone has become bigger than the cosmos, isn't it? So spiritual process does not mean, is not prescribing how you should be whichever way you want. You like misery, do it, what's my problem? If you're enjoying misery, what is my problem? I will not tell you be joyful. You like to be miserable, I appreciate that. But if you had a choice, would you choose misery? No. Maybe once in a way you like to read a tragedy or watch a tragedy, that is somebody else suffering, not you, isn't it? You may want to watch a tragic movie or a drama, but you don't want a tragedy in your life, isn't it so? I trust your judgment on these things. So spiritual process means that you read the user's manual, you know exactly how this works. You keep it whichever way you want, that's up to you. You like misery once in a way, you like to… people like some bitter things, not just sweet things. You want to enjoy that, what is my issue? I have no issue. Enjoy it. But as long as you are choosing consciously, right now misery is happening compulsively, isn't it? It's not happening consciously, it is happening compulsively. Once you get into the cycle, there is no other way. It rules you. Being human means just this, that you can consciously decide what is the nature of your experience right now. That means being human. Being in a state of compulsive reaction means lack of evolution. Yes or no? This is the animal nature. They can't help it. They have to be in a compulsive state of reaction. That's the only way they can exist. That is their nature right now. Being human means everything that animals do, you also do. They eat, they sleep, you sleep, they reproduce, you reproduce, they die, you die. Only thing is, we can conduct the same things that they do compulsively, we can do it consciously. That's the big difference, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. If you do not exercise that one thing, that you can conduct yourself consciously, it is a backward step in the evolutionary process. So spiritual process means a forward step in the evolutionary process. That means everything is conscious for you, nothing is unconscious. The very way you sit, stand, breathe, everything has become conscious for you. Once it's conscious, you will conduct it the way you want. Right now the only and only source of misery is life is not happening the way you think it should happen. Is there any other source? Huh? No. It's not happening the way you think it should happen. If your mind thinks the way you want, if your body functions the way you want, life is happening the way you want. That's spiritual process.